I have a great story to tell you. And it's a story about the purpose of your dreams and why your dreams are not meant to be achieved. Not necessarily. Your dreams have a different purpose. And what your dreams are meant for is your dreams are meant to act like a beacon outside of you, out in the future, something that's so inspiring that calls you through your fear, through your doubt, toward your dream. That's the purpose of the dream, to call you through your fear. And I've got an incredible story to tell you, because when you allow yourself to be pulled forward by your dreams and through your fears and through your doubts, and you work on the things that you really are inspired to do, what's meant for you will find you. So I want to take you back a couple of years when the 5-Second Rule book was launching. It came out in February of 2017. I was a self-published author. It was very important for me to self-publish the book because I wanted to make sure I owned the content. And being a self-published author is incredible, but you don't have the support of a massive traditional publisher. So you do everything on your own. And my dream at the time was to be a New York Times best-selling author. I had always dreamt of it. And I'd always dreamt of being number one, not just making the list, but being number one. And I worked so hard on that book. I put my life and everything I had into that book. And for 6 months, I did all of the things that you're supposed to do in order to sell as many books as you need to sell in order to make the New York Times bestseller list. And I'm saying for 6 months, I was schlepping books around to every speech and pre-selling copies and writing lists by hand of people's names so I could send them signed books when the book came out. And I was creating email campaigns and doing stuff on social media, networking with influencers. When I tell you for 6 months straight, I did nothing but try to figure out what I could do to try to reach my dream of being a New York Times bestselling author. I did everything you were supposed to do. So the week that the book comes on sale, the day that it happens, I send out a newsletter to our newsletter list. I tell everybody on social media. A bunch of my friends post about the book. And all of a sudden, sales start rolling in. I'm super excited. I'm getting texts from friends. I just bought your book. And about an hour later, I start getting emails from people saying, I tried to buy your book on Amazon, but it's out of stock. And I thought, that's unbelievable. Holy cow. I was so successful at marketing this book. I've worked so hard. I've been rewarded. We've sold through the tens of thousands of copies that our printing and publishing partner printed for us as a self-publishing. I was so excited. I was doing a happy dance. I thought all my hard work is paid off. My dreams are coming true. And then the emails started to come in. It's out of stock. It's out of stock. It's out of stock. And I start to think, I don't have that big of an email list. There must be something wrong. I couldn't have sold through that many books in an hour. And so I go to Amazon, and sure enough, the book is listed out of stock, which the book remained listed out of stock for the first several weeks that it was on sale. And it wasn't because we had sold all the books. Amazon listed my book as out of stock because we had sent so much traffic to Amazon, and I was a nobody. And Amazon had no idea who I was because I'm a self-published author. And when they get a surge of traffic on an unknown product like that, they list the book as out of stock until they can figure out what's going on in terms of the traffic and their actual inventory in the warehouse. Now, not knowing any better, I didn't know who to call. I had no power to change the situation. And so for 3 weeks, the book remained out of stock as all my marketing was happening, as I was appearing on podcasts, as I was showing up on like Tom Bilyeu's Impact Theory show and Lewis Howe's School of Greatness podcast. all of my effort was sending everybody to a page that listed the 5-second rule as out of stock. I felt like the world's biggest failure. I felt like God and the universe was punishing me. I regretted every decision I made to self-publish. I felt like there was something wrong with me because I had worked so hard to make this dream come true. And in that critical 3-week period, when all of my effort was supposed to be selling books, the variable of Amazon I could not control. And I literally cried every day. Every freaking day. And here's the one thing that saved me during that time. Because I just wanted to throw my hands in the air and say, everybody. Why has this always happened to me? I just was going down the pity party negative thought train. And this was the one thought that saved me. I kept saying, there's no way in hell, after working this hard, that the universe isn't going to reward me. There's no way in hell that I have worked this hard that the universe is not going to reward me. I would wake up every morning, I would check Amazon, it would say out of stock, I would start crying. All those negative feelings would come rushing in. I'd want to give up on my dream of being a New York Times best-selling, or hell, at this point, a best-selling author. But I would say, Mel, there's no way in hell that you're not going to get rewarded after working this hard. There must be something better that's coming. This is a mindset trick that will save you. There must be something better that's coming. And this gets back to my original point. Your dreams are not necessarily to be achieved. That's not their purpose. The purpose of your dreams is to pull the greatest part of you through your fears and your doubts, to make you do the work, to have you to start walking toward the thing that's calling you forth. Dreams call the best in you forth. That's the purpose of a dream. And I'm telling you right now, if you continue to work hard, if you continue to put your head down, if you continue to do everything you're supposed to do and you give up that timeline, you will be rewarded. And I promise you, there is something better that's in store for you. Something you can't even imagine. That's exactly what happened to me. Because after 3 weeks of this crap going on, all of a sudden I get an email. And the email says, your monthly report is available. And it was an email from Audible. See, I had self-published the audiobook too. I had recorded it myself. My husband, Chris, had uploaded the files to the Amazon platform called ACX, which is what you self-publish audiobooks through. And I was so focused on having the hardcover make the New York Times bestseller list, I hadn't even remembered that there was an audiobook. And this whole time, this whole 3 weeks that the book was out of stock, and I'm crying every morning, and I'm pushing through, and I'm doing podcasts, and I'm doing all the things I had planned on doing, and beating myself up, but pushing myself forward, saying, Mel, there's no way you're not going to be rewarded. There is something better that's meant for you. Just keep going. Well, what happened is that entire 3 weeks, you guys, that I was working my tail off, crying every day, pushing forward, everybody was buying up the audiobook like toilet paper in a pandemic because it was the only thing that was available. When I got this sales report, I nearly fell out of my chair. I became the #1 audiobook on Audible for the entire year. And because the audiobook was so successful, Amazon got its inventory straightened out, and I became the 5th most read book on Amazon of that entire year in 2017. The 5-second rule audiobook has something crazy like 50,000 reviews. It's incredible. I'm so proud of it. And even more importantly, My hard work was rewarded because I've gone on to do 4 more audiobooks as Audible originals for Audible, something that never would have happened if I had had a successful hardcover campaign. Do you see? My dream of being a New York Times best-selling author, even the dream of being #1, the purpose of that dream was to make me work hard, to make me work for it. But that's not the dream that was meant for me at that moment in my life. Something better was meant for me, and I got it because I worked so hard for that dream of being a New York Times bestseller. Now, you want to know the kicker? I've never made the list. I've never made any traditional bestseller list. Of course, I dominate on Amazon, but the traditional stuff, never made it. I wasn't meant to. I was meant to let that dream of being a New York Times bestselling author pull me forward, make me work, make me believe. And in the work itself and in telling yourself you will be rewarded, you will get what's meant for you. I believe this with absolutely every ounce of my being. Absolutely every ounce of my being. You need your dreams. You cannot give up on your dreams, because when you give up your dreams, you give up on a part of yourself. And you need your dreams because they pull you through your fear. They pull you through this moment. They give you something bigger to work toward. They activate and energize something inside of you. But if your dreams aren't coming true, remember your friend Mel Robbins and remember this story that I told you, and you keep your head down and you keep working for it. Because I promise you, if you give up your timeline, if you keep putting in the work, you will be rewarded. And on those mornings where you wake up like I was waking up every morning and crying and making myself wrong, you flip your mindset and you remind yourself, there's no way you won't be rewarded when you work this hard. And you remind yourself that there is something better that's meant just for you. And that's why you haven't gotten what you thought you wanted yet. I love you. Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed that video, by God, please subscribe, because I don't want you to miss a thing. Thank you so much for being here. We've got so much amazing stuff coming. Thank you so much for sending this stuff to your friends and your family. I love you. We create these videos for you, so make sure you subscribe. Mwah.